I started to think about what poem I wanted to use for this project, I really had no idea. I really felt like I wanted something that was raw, something that was really close to home, something that was terribly obvious, but everyone seemed to overlook. I wanted something that actually made me a little angry, and that's exactly what I did. Mikhail did a good job of fulfilling all these requirements for me. When I was young, I was a pretty big pain in the ass. I got expelled from high school when I was 17. I went to an alternative school with a bunch of misfits. I got through after getting kicked out of a few more classes for arguing with the instructors. I managed to find myself with a family member, alcoholic, which really sucked. I was going to a two-year school, going to a junior college, trying to get a degree, and I just didn't have the time or the money. So I stopped that charade and moved on and ended up with 2 jobs. Eventually, work sucked. Home sucked even worse. It seemed like the only thing that I had was sleep. That was the only time I enjoyed my life. So I decided it was time to make a pretty serious change. I decided to join the military, and I decided the Marine Corps was probably the best thing. It seemed like the biggest change. I didn't really care what I was going to do. I just wanted to change in direction. I wanted to, I guess, get out and fight. I didn't really care what happened. I joined the Marines, and a few months later, I actually had a few months of hell. I went through a few months of training and ended up in Iraq. You know, I got accustomed to the terrain. I got accustomed to the sandstorms. I got pretty intimate with war. With a quick call on the radio, F-18s would send out with 500-pound bombs, and they'd come back a few hours later with nothing. It was pretty taxing on my body. By the time I got back, I ended up being pretty hurt. After a few months of being home, I couldn't walk anymore. I ended up with 3 herniated discs in my back. I came home okay. Other people came home great. A few others came home in caskets. Now, Mikhail did a good job of abstracting humanity from war. She did a good job of bringing a new light to something that was entirely obvious. The War Works Hard by Dunya Mikhail, translated by Elizabeth Winslow. How magnificent war is, how eager and efficient. Early in the morning, it wakes up the sirens and dispatches ambulance to various places, swings corpses through the air, rolls stretchers to the wounded, summons rain from the eyes of the mothers, digs into the earth, dislodges many things from under the ruins. Some are lifeless and glistening, others pale and still throbbing. It produces the most questions in the mind of the children. Entertains the gods by shooting fireworks and missiles into the sky, sows mines into the fields and reaps punctures and blisters. It urges families to immigrate. Stand beside the clergymen as they curse the devil. Poor devil, he remains with one hand in the searing fire. The war continues working day and night. It inspires tyrants to deliver long speeches, awards medals to generals, and themes to poets. It contributes to the industry of artificial limbs, provides food for flies, adds pages to the history books, achieves equality between killer and killed, teaches lovers to write letters, accustoms young women to waiting, fills the newspapers with articles and pictures, builds new houses for the orphans, invigorates the coffin makers, gives grave diggers a pat on the back, and paints a smile on the leader's face. It works with unparalleled diligence, yet no one gives it a word of praise. I was pretty angry when I read this, that you could think that war was something that helped so many people, that on the commercialism side, it really rules, and it brings money to those who can profit. And looking at it, it's entirely true. It's terrible to think that so many people can profit on such a horrible thing, but at the end of the day, it's true. I profited. I get education for coming here. I get post 9/11 GI Bill. It allows me to go to school. So many people profit, whether it be from those who sell guns or those who are the ones that were developing these uniforms. It seems that if you can get your hand into it, commercialism has found a way. Now, I was pretty affected. The inspiration that it gives to people is, I guess, can be considered a good thing. All of the poets, when she says that it gives the poets themes to write about, and it gives the people something to speech about. It really does, and I was very surprised when I read this. It kind of brought a pretty serious hit home when she started to feel pity for the devil, as if we were trying to blame the devil for all that was going on, when in reality it was what we decided to do. Humanity did this. Humanity starts wars, not the devil.